Alexandra, will someone who believes that have much luck uniting Australians to change their constitution?
Well, they're already fighting as a movement about whether or not they support the Voice or don't support the Voice because they want Conservatives to vote for the Republic. But the one thing that I will point out really clearly to Conservatives who maybe don't like the Crown is that for a president, you are going to have a political figure. They won't be a Conservative political figure. You won't have President Tony Abbott. You're going to have President Kevin Rudd or President Malcolm Turnbull or one of these activists from the Australian of the Year Awards, and they will be there to make politically biased decisions. And so they provide absolutely no protection against a Prime Minister who's out of control. And the entire role of the President, in this case, who is replacing the Governor-General, is to protect the people. And that cannot happen in a politicised organisation. And the new leader, and also the shadow minister for the Republic, Thistlethwaite, they are all political figures. And that's what this is, a politician's republic. And we know how those end. Look at Sri Lanka, where we had the president running off to go and hide on a boat somewhere as people storm the presidential palace, let me add. They live like kings. And that is what Australia will give ourselves. It won't be like Queen Elizabeth, who was there for the people above politics. So be warned.
Well, as I said here a few weeks ago, if they want a woke head of state, they just got one. So I don't know what their problem is.
Liz Truss tried so hard yesterday to caution in the most polite way possible the new King Charles III and his son, the Prince of Wales, not to go attending COP27, which is, of course, a United Nations love-in fest, and hopefully they're getting the message.
Hopefully, yes. Now, here's a cool image. It's Kanye West and Candace Owen at a fashion show in Paris wearing shirts that say White Lives Matter. Rolling Stone equated this to the KKK and the Aryan Renaissance Society, whatever that is. Alexandra, is it racist to say White Lives Matter?
So the problem is this is a reaction to a racist movement. It was a black supremacist movement called Black Lives Matter, run by self-declared Marxists who saw the streets of America and other streets descend into racially charged violence. So hence the White Lives Matter slogan came up. And it doesn't matter how many, if there's random organisations of people who use it. The mainstream idea was an opposition to the Marxist Black Lives Matter violent protests that were also destroying people's cultural heritage. I think about a dozen people were killed and billions of dollars of damage were done. So it's a response to that racial hatred that Black Lives Matter started. And so that's why he was wearing White Lives Matter. He's a little bit of a contrarian. He likes to catch a bit of attention. And, this is his way of saying, I'm anti this other movement. It's not as controversial as people think it is, but it is showing that people are not entirely on board with the woke left brigade at all times.
Yeah, but the response from the media has been that this is a racist thing to say, that it is racist to say that White Lives Matter, hasn't it?
Of course it is, because they have built their entire narrative on white is bad. I mean, the media themselves have been so racist in the last 5 years that for them to even admit that White Lives Matter, which is a pretty generic statement, they can't do it without admitting what happened beforehand, because they went all in line behind a movement that was racist, that did kill people, that was destructive. And they don't want to acknowledge that. So they've got a little wall there going, that didn't happen. Anybody who opposes what happened must be racist. And it's superficial. That's all it is.